Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today is episode 20 of your Seattle Kraken franchise mode here on NHL 21. As today, we got a big episode as we're going to be going through the offseason, making some very big moves. But before we get into that, I'd like to just say, if you are new to the channel, make sure to slap that subscribe button and hit that like button as well. That'll be very much appreciated. And also, I've been doing a lot of Twitch streams and I will continue to do them throughout the next coming months. You can come and check them out. The link will be down in the description below for that. So let's get right into this puppy, as we got a lot of stuff to do. We gotta practically not really fix up the team, not really give it a retool, but we got a lot of stuff to do. As we had a lot of free agencies this year, we had to re-sign a decent amount of people. We had to make some pretty big decisions. We went back to back this past season, and now is massive for this team. Going back to back for the first time, and we've only been in the NHL for 3 years, and out of the 2 years, we won a Stanley Cup. That's pretty damn impressive. And there's been rumors and there's been talkings about this team wanting to go for the three-peat. And yes, we do. We want that three-peat. So I figured out the best possible way that we could keep this team together. But not just that, we're going to add pieces to this team as well. So the way that I want to work things out is I want to keep Jacob Virtanen and Denis Gurianov. And the way that we're going to do that is we're going to wait them out. They're both at 26 years old right now. And we still got time. Usually once you get similarly a month or two down the road, usually you get these guys for a cheap one-year deal and barely pay them any money. And that's my goal. I know the next year we're going to be having to pay them UFA money, and that means we're not going to have that RFA. We're not going to be able to qualify off of them, and I'm probably going to have to pay a lot of money to either of those guys. But we're trying to go for a three-peat here. And a three-peat means sacrificing absolutely everything to go for this three-peat. And we're really not sacrificing everything if you really look at it. Yes, we still have Voinov for 1 year, so we really don't want to lock up Jake Virtanen or a Denis Gurianov right now. It'd just be a dumb idea, especially when we have Voinov that we have to sign in the next upcoming season. Plus, we still got Strome, Bublev, and Johnny Gaudreau all signed to really nice contracts right now. No one is making $9 million on this team but for John Klingberg, and that's pretty damn good, talking about this team being already a team that's won back-to-back, and we haven't had one player that we have had to pay $10 million. That's pretty damn impressive. Our defensive core, we really don't have to worry about this offseason. We are thinking about trading Troy Stecher just to release some cap space off the team, since Lars Gunderson will be jumping up into the lineup this upcoming season. Our 2021 first-round pick, he'll be jumping up into the roster most likely this season. Our big future defensive defenseman, who I think will be a huge contributor to the team. We do have to sign another goalie, as we only have Thatcher Demko right now, and I don't know if we could rely on Thatcher Demko. That was the biggest question last year. He had a really bad season during the regular season, but he popped off absolutely in the playoffs, not losing a single game on our trip to winning that Stanley Cup. So we got a lot of big decisions, and of course we're not going to be able to bring back UC Saros, since he wants like $7.6 million to come back to the Seattle Kraken, or just to sign anywhere. So let's get to signing. We want that first line centerman, which I wasn't really talking about with the plan of this team, is we do want to add a first line centerman. We don't want to play Brock Bublev as our centerman anymore. We were talking about either picking up Huberto or Sam Reinhart, and the way that I want to keep this team is cheap and reliable. That's the way that we want to play with this team here in Seattle. Is the cheaper the players we get, the more we have more space to do. And Sam Reinhart is that perfect guy. He's making 8.4, or he wants 8.4. The only team that's after him right now is the Washington Capitals, which I think we could outpay. We faced that team twice, and we beat them twice. So hopefully we can steal that player away from them. Jonathan Huberto, he's the same type of player as Brock Bublev. He's not really a centerman, he's a winger, and that's the way he's going to play. So I don't want him to play as a centerman. I'd rather him go to some other team, like San Jose, Minnesota, or Colorado. He could go to one of those teams that would suck, because a lot of those teams are in our division. But if we do get a Sam Reinhart on the team, I think that would help us out a lot. Just like Evgeny Malkin, right? Evgeny Malkin was massive for us when we picked him up, and especially in the playoffs. And I think Sam Reinhart can be that type of guy. He's going to be here for probably the next decade, the next 7 years. He's only been in the playoffs once, but I believe that we can get this kid going, especially since he can fit on the power play, all the penalty kill lines, and not just that, the forward lines, and he's very good defensively, which is what we want on this team. So what type of contract does Sam Reiner want for the next 7 years on this team? We're going to be paying him 8.525, and he does not want a single no trade clause, no movement clause, so we could deal this guy whenever we want. I think this is the best pick for the team, because if we were to go after Jonathan Huberdeau, this is what Jonathan Huberdeau wants for his no movement, no trade clause, and he wants no trade clause for Jonathan Huberdeau. So it's just, I mean, Huberdeau, you're still getting a no trade clause, so you could trade him, but I think Sam Reiner is the best idea for the Seattle Kraken, so we're going to hand him a contract, Sam Reiner. Hopefully he signs with the team, and then the next step, we got to go after a goalie. There's not very many goalies out here unless you want to go after a beast like Shiortkin, but honestly, I don't think we need a Shiortkin. When we have some future goalies that will probably take a couple years, and we still have Thatcher Demko signed to a nice cheap contract. I was thinking maybe a Tristan Jarry or a Semyon Varlamov. Tristan Jarry would actually be perfect because we only have to sign him for 2 years. Now, it depends on what he wants for a contract, which is what I'm going to do now. Spin the wheel on him and see what type of contract he'll want. Thatcher Demko, he signed up for the next 2 years. He only wants a no trade clause for Tristan Jarry. So that means we get 2 reliable, cheap goalies that we can do another tandem with, which is what I've been really wanting to do here in Seattle. Thatcher Demko, we don't know what he's going to be able to do next year. I don't know if he's a capable starting goalie for the team. So bringing in a Tristan Jarry for the next 2 years at a $5 million range, I'm not complaining. Tristan Jarry, hopefully you sign with the Seattle Kraken, and then we'll simulate the next couple days. Oh, actually, before that, we need to check out the coaching staff, see if we need to get any new coaches. Eddie Reeves, you're staying on the team. You brought the 2 first years you've been on this team, you've brought us 2 cups, so we want to continue with you on the team, and same with the entire coaching staff. We'll mainly just keep it all the same. We don't need to change anything about the Seattle Kraken. We could just keep everything the same, but for signing some AHL coaches and getting these guys signed on to the team, Dingman, and then some NHL goalie coach, and Sam Yard. Lock you up for a little bit. And then another goalie coach for the AHL. Perfect. Bing, bada, boom. So no trade clause for Jarry and nothing for Sam Reiner. This has been looking like a very, very good free agency here for the Seattle Kraken. And I feel like this can help us with this 3P, and the 3P is going to be the hardest to get because of the fact that we have played so many games over the past 2 seasons, and not just that, like our first season making it to the Stanley Cup final, that Stanley Cup final run, I felt like it was a very challenging run for us, and it wasn't like we lost a lot of games, but man, were we grinding out every single victory to get that W, and that's just how it's going to be this year too, right? We are a team that is built as a team. We are legit a team. There's not just one all-star on this team. There's multiple all-stars on this team that makes this team such a big difference makers, that we all work as a cohesive unit. Our coach is great. Our whole team is great. I love the way that this team is built, and hopefully we could bring a cup into this team. A 3-peat would just be absolutely historic for the Seattle Kraken, and there's all the scouts being signed to the team. Hopefully we could get majority on them on the team. But now let's hope and pray that we get Sam Reinhart or a Tristan Jarry on the team. I'm hoping we do get a Sam Reinhart. That would really cement this team, and we could really, really start building this team up. Really, really can. And Sam Reinhart, oh my god, I hate these notifications for the scouts. So Troy Stecher. Okay, so we've been wanting to trade Troy Stecher away. So, Cooper Morado, yeah, I think we make this deal. A 3rd and a 4th from the Pittsburgh Penguins for Troy Stecher, sure. We get rid of Troy Stecher. Not very many people are very upset about that. But Tristan Jarry does sign with the team. Hell yeah. So, welcome to the team, Jarry. So, we if these scouts can piss off, that would be amazing. Single Thyler, which is another guy that we want to kind of get rid of off the team. But right now, we'll keep him. And Sam Reinhart has decided to go to our rivals in the Washington Capitals. Sam Reinhart will not be coming to the Seattle Kraken. So that is a ball buster for us, man. That really is. So we got Ryan O'Reilly, who we can bring into the team. He fits up on that first line. 73 points last year. He did great in the playoffs for St. Louis there. I can't see the physicality because my camera. The physicality is not too bad physical. He's great defensively. Or we bring back Malkin, but Malkin's a little bit older and he's definitely going to drop off. So right now we got a lot of decisions, and of course my camera dies, so I'll be right back, boys. Alright guys, I am back at her again. So we weren't able to get Sam Reinhart, which is a huge bust in the balls that he's going to be going off to the Washington Capitals, the team that we've been facing for the past 2 years in the Stanley Cup Finals. They picked up Sam Reinhart, which is absolutely massive for them, I guess. I mean, they already have a lot of centermans, which I mean, Backstrom is getting older, so I guess maybe that's the reason why, but my lord. I don't know why. Why is Sam Reinhart signed there, man? You would have been up on the first line here in Seattle. You would have been the face of the squad, but you yet decided to go to the Washington Capitals and sign 7 years with this declining team. To the team that also lost 2 years in a row against my team who just went back-to-back. Man, I'm going to make him pay for that. All right, so I think plan B, Ryan O'Reilly. I think Ryan O'Reilly for the next 2 years. I know it's not an all-star centerman for the team, but you want to talk about a guy that could possibly bolster up this team? I think Ryan O'Reilly. I know he's a bit more expensive than what we were looking at doing, but let's take a look at around the league. When I did take a look at around the league last time when I was off video, I didn't really see anyone that stood out to me. Lindholm, but he's 28, 4.8. That's pretty cheap for a guy like Lindholm. Top 6 forward lines. 1 year left, though. And he's going to be the same type of player as like a Ryan Strome, right? If you put him up on a good line, he's going to produce for you. He's going to do really well. But then there's going to be other seasons where he might not play as well if he's not playing good alongside of good line mates, right? He's not going to be that number one guy for your team. Tyler Johnson there in Detroit. LA, Edmonds, Parise, Domi. Domi, on the other hand, 28 years old. He has a lot of value, top 6 forward lines. But for the amount of value for only having 70 points, and he's been kind of tossed around the league here for the past couple of years. He's had some good producing years, but then there's other years where you could definitely say that, yeah, he might not be the guy that we go after. I think it might just be Ryan O'Reilly. I think we pick up Ryan O'Reilly for the next 2 years. It kind of sucks that Sam Reinhart fucked us, man. That really does suck. Really, really does. All right. So we'll have to do that then. We'll have to go after Mr. Ryan O'Reilly. We could go after Evgeny Malkin, but once again, he's a little older. I mean, we could sign him for a year, but I don't think that might be the plan. Now, we'll see what Ryan O'Reilly wants. If Ryan O'Reilly wants something really expensive, then we might not go after him. We might go back after Malkin. Ryan O'Reilly wants a full no movement clause for Ryan O'Reilly for the next 2 years. So we'll see what Evgeny Malkin wants just for a 1 year deal. $8 million for 1 year, so a little bit cheaper than what, another full movement clause. So both of them want no movement clauses. Evgeny Malkin did great on our roster last season, especially when we put him up on that first line, especially in the playoffs. Ryan O'Reilly, on the other hand, could bring that grit, can bring that playoff experience. It might help us out for a playoff run once again. You know what? I'm bringing in Ryan O'Reilly. We could use a bit of a different player for the next 2 years. We're going to have a no movement clause on him, and that's just going to be the thing that we're going to have to deal with. But $9.8 million for Ryan O'Reilly for the next 2 years. I don't think he'll age very well. I'm hoping he just stays about the same age. I'm hoping, but the same overall. I hope he doesn't decline. But that is a big contract for a guy like Ryan O'Reilly, so that's a big move for him. I don't think we need to make any other moves. I don't think we're going to be able to pick up any depth right now for the team that we could really afford for a third line, because I think we do need another bit of third line depth, because what we're going to have Gurionov, I think power forward wouldn't be too bad of an idea for the team for like a depth player, but we do have Fogle, so we could use him. JVR, but he's a sniper, not very good defensively. Michael Fearland, how well is he defensively? He's a grinder, though. He won't fit into the plan of the team. Man, there's not a good... I mean, we did simulate a couple days, so that's most likely why. Oscar Sudquist wouldn't be too bad. Centerman, all penalty kill lines, good defensively. Fourth liner, 12 points. Not very good defensively, but we'll pick him up for a year. $1.75 million for Oscar Sudquist. Hopefully Ryan O'Reilly signs with the team. If not, well, I guess we're just going to be diddly-dot fucked. I mean, we're not really. We could just go with Virtanen and Gurionov. But I don't think we're going to be as powerful if... There we go. Ryan O'Reilly, welcome to the Seattle Kraken. Full-blown no movement clause, which sucks. And we're left with $6.1 million. So we're practically cucked on Gurionov and Jake Virtanen right now. And some teams might qualify off of them, but I'm not too sure. So that means we might not be able to sign the both of them. Which was, I mean, would have been the plan if we got Sam Reiner. We would have been able to sign the both of them. Now, Ryan O'Reilly kind of changes this plan up because now Ryan O'Reilly is more of a physical guy. We were going to bring Jake Virtanen in for that physicality if we were getting Sam Reiner back. But now Denis Gurionov might be on our main case. Because right now the way that the lineups will shake up will be Ryan O'Reilly on the first line with Gaudreau, Voinov. Maybe we throw Ryan Strome up on that first line. We'll see what we do. But then Brock Bubelev will play on the second line alongside of either Ryan O'Reilly or Strome. And then we'll have like a Jake Virtanen or Denis Gurionov playing in that position. Cirelli, and in the third line, we are going to have to figure out because we got Fogle down there that we can play on the third line alongside Cirelli. But our depth-wise, man, we don't got a lot of depth this upcoming season, and that's going to be kind of hurting us this upcoming season. So maybe do we trade away Shea and we just go with Shea. We got Jarry and Demko, our tandem there that we're going to be going with this upcoming season. We need that tandem going. We're going to figure out something this year. I think we are going to be choosing either Demko or Jarry. We do got some goalies that are going to be coming up, but we just drafted them this year, so they're going to take a while to develop, probably 2 to 3 years before they're ready to go for this team. So, honestly, I think we just wait. I think that's going to be the best plan. There's not a lot of free agents out there that we can go and pick up right now. I think we just rather wait on Denis Gurionov and Jake Virtanen. We'll figure that shit out. And hopefully no one offers them a nice contract. Colton Sissons wouldn't be too bad. What position? I mean, but that means we have to pay him a decent amount of money. But 4 line 3, plays on the left wing, 81 overall. That's once again like Warren Fogle. So why the fuck are we picking him up? Man, it sucks that we weren't able to keep Sam Reiner because we would have been able to save at least $1 million if we were able to get Sam Reiner. Or actually even more than that. Would have been just a little bit over $1 million we would have been saving on that. And we weren't able to. It sucks, but it is what it is. So where are we at now? We're in August, a month ahead of time. So what does Jake Virtanen and Gurionov want? 1 year for $4.5 million for Denis Gurionov. So he is getting a beat cheaper for 1 year. Not too bad looking there for Gurionov. And still a little bit expensive there for Jake Virtanen. And if it's whether we want to keep the offensive core deep or do we want to keep the defense core deep, because we could trade away Brady Shea and we could save about $5 million, but it depends on how far Lars Gunderson jumps up, and that will be a big decision on how much he jumps up and how much Lars Gunderson is ready to play this year. Gurionov signs for $3.6 million. Okay, so $3.6 million, so he signs for the qualifying offer that we gave him, which is absolutely perfect. Now, in real life, what you were to give a qualifying offer, I think it would be like, you would submit the number and you battle it. But anyways, Gurionov, $3.6 million, that is perfect for Gurionov. Absolutely perfect. And Jake Virtanen, if he could sign to that same type of deal, that would be perfect for the team. He wants $4.2 million, but we can't give him that type of money right now. And if he doesn't want to lower that cost, we might be looking for somebody else. Because I am fine with playing Denis Gurionov up on that second line. We know how well Denis Gurionov can play. So we'll send up to preseason. And we'll make that decision here soon. I think I might leave that for the next episode. Because we'll take a look around the league, see what we could pick. Set captains, yes. I think Colton Parayko, man, we got all the defensemen. Captain Parayko, unassigned Shea. Klingberg, yes, I want Johnny Gaudreau as the other alternate, I think, right? That's what we wanted. Parayko, Klingberg, Gaudreau. Yeah, I think that those could be the leaders of the team right now for the Seattle Kraken coming up into this next upcoming season here for the 2023-24 season. Let's take a look at what we have for the team right now. Yeah, the depth is going to be a kind of a bombshell right now for the team. This is basically what we got. Now, who would be better up on that? Yeah, I think Ryan Strome, Voinov, Bublev, Ryan O'Reilly, Denis Gurianov. We need better depth. I think that's the biggest thing is we need better depth for our offensive core, and we need to look out for that. So maybe making some deals wouldn't be a bad idea for the team. Now, Lars Gunderson is practically ready to go. He's an 82 overall. He wants to play in the top four. How well does he play? Doesn't play as well, but that means like everyone gets a plus, and that means John Klingberg is still a 93 overall, and this is still a really solid defensive core if you're asking me. Lars Gunderson, yes, he definitely doesn't fit Eddie Reeves' program as well, but I think we could trade Brady Shea here and go after a top 4 or top 6 defensive defenseman to play alongside of Shillington. I think that's what we go for there while we trade away Jake Virtanen. And I think we make that type of deal because I know Jake Virtanen is not going to lower his cost right now. He's at $3.9 million. We cannot afford that. We legit can't go any lower. I mean, we could offer him a $3.3 million deal, but that means we're not going to be able to afford anyone else, and we're just going to be relying on Virtanen, Cirelli, and Foegele to handle that third line, which I honestly don't want. I don't want that. So let's see what people want for Brady Shea, and we'll also throw Jake Virtanen out there as well. So we'll add Brady Shea out there, and then Jake Virtanen, and then we'll see what people want for those players. Also, I'd like to just take a quick look at all our prospects right quick and see who jumped up or not. Cirelli 84, Bublev. Man, look at these guys. Fucking huge overall jumps. Koronovich, he is almost ready to go. 79 overall depth forward that we picked up from the Rangers. He's almost ready to go. Everyone else still kind of a low overall. We don't really have very many ready forwards to jump up in the lineup. That's forward-wise, defensive-wise. Ragnarsson, he's ready to go at a 79 overall. Almost ready. I think we play him another year down the A to let him develop a little bit more. And then Nicolin, he's at a 60 overall. Not bad. So, yes, we got Shea and Jake Virtanen should be on that list as well. Yep. So let's find a trade. Of course, no one wants to trade with us. So let's take a look around the league. Let's see what we can find for players that we can pick up for the team for the Seattle Kraken. So Heinen, Thornton, Kessel, Coyle, Haula, Gusev, Fowler, Smith, Vatten, and Petrie, Coleman. They got a lot of depth, but I don't think it's guys that I really want to have on the team. Oh, Craig Smith, but he doesn't really fit with the team. A Coyle would. $5.25 million, though, is a lot of money for Charlie Coyle at 31 years of age. And especially another power forward when we really don't need another power forward. Calgary, Suzuki always, like when I actually was doing a Carolina Hurricanes offline mode there for myself, and Suzuki turned out to be an absolute monster. My lord, was he ever ripping it up. Kujula, Hoffman, Palat, Dadanov, no. Edmondson, no. We might have to make a couple deals. We might have to trade Shea to a different team and then kind of do a couple deals. Trouba there, $8 million, but I don't want to fucking pay $8 million for that guy. Armia, not really that good. Adam Larson, 4 years at 4.8. That's just too much. Sorsim, not really that much there. In Rangerstown, Dumoulin, Murado, Ryan Graves, but 4.8 for Ryan Graves. No, thank you. Jomerson, McCabe, Bennon, some good defensemen there in St. Louis. Barry Schmidt, Myers, not bad. Korzak there. Henrik Wilson, not bad, but nothing really fitting for our third line. I think we honestly just trade away Brady Shea, and then we just get picks back. I think that's what we're going to do at first. Trade him to a team that can afford him. St. Louis, I know You guys weren't really into Brady Shea. But we do need a top 6 defenseman in return. We'll just find some Pittsburgh. Conservative buyers, what do you got there in Pittsburgh, boys? For a defenseman that you could trade to us. Stetcher was there. We should have kept Stetcher, man. We should have just kept Stetcher. John Marino doesn't... I actually love John Marino. 2.4, about the same as Troy Stetcher. A little bit younger than the Troy Stetcher. Doesn't look like too bad of a defenseman. Akeem Bush is jumping up for them, so they'll have another defenseman on the uprise. But John Marino, I think, would fit our team perfectly. And then defense, picks, they don't really got any picks for us, so you guys can just piss off. Ottawa, what do you got for us? I mean, I wouldn't mind looking for a defenseman off you guys if you have one. Jamie Oleksiak. Yes, Jamie Oleksiak. 30 years old, perfect. 2 years, perfect contract. He fits on the team. Yes, Jamie Oleksiak fits for this team. He's an absolute fucking steal. They do need a little bit of cap taken off their team. So if you guys have like a third liner that we could pick up from your team, Andre Burakovsky, a second liner, 4.1 for the next 3 years. If we can get him as well, retained to a little bit of money, like 500 grand, right? Then we only have to pay him about $3.5 million. That makes our team a hell of a lot deeper. Do you guys like Jake Virtanen? Yes, you guys do. So we might actually have a deal here, boys. So Burakovsky. I also wouldn't mind picking up somebody else as well to bolster up that third line even more. It kind of drops off from there. They don't have a lot of other players that we could pick up. So we can make another deal. We get Burakovsky and Oleksiak right now. I think that would be just fine for us. That would really bolster up our lineup. Get some picks from this team and bolster up our picks. So Brady Shea, Virtanen for Oleksiak, Burakovsky, 2 seconds and a third. Will that go through? And no, it does not. We'll take off that second and we will add on a fourth. Will that go through? No, it does not. We'll take off that fourth. Will that go through? No. We'll just take off the third. Will that go through? No, it does not. We can't afford the... Oh, yeah, they won't be affording the RFA right now. Shit. So we'll have to take off Jake Virtanen. We'll have to take off the second there. I think pretty much that is even if we add in a third... 2/3, because Brady Shea is pretty damn good defensively. He was a really good defenseman for us last year, and I think he can still be a really good defenseman. So we'll just do it straight up. There we go. So welcome Jamie Oleksiak and Andre Burakovsky to the Seattle Kraken. So that bolsters us up a little bit more. I know we traded away a quality player in Brady Shea, but we picked up a good quality defenseman in Jamie Oleksiak. We still have Siegel-Thyler, I'm pretty sure. So we have a pretty deep defense score if you're asking me. Depth-wise, we have a lot of guys that can play up and down this lineup, so that's perfect. Offensively, we didn't trade away Jake Virtanen, but we picked up Andre Burakovsky for a very cheap... Oh, no, we didn't retain his cap? Oh, whatever. Whatever, 4.1. I thought we did retain his cap. Oh, whatever. Not a big deal. I think we lowered it because... We would have to pay a lot more. So, Burakovsky, we could trade him later on if need be. $4.1 million, not that bad. We do got to give Mikhail Voinov a deal as well. But we'll worry about that later on. But we do got to trade away Jake Virtanen for some more depth. And I think a team that would fit him perfectly was... Who wanted to trade away a lot of those depth players? We have to trade him to a team that wants him and wants to trade away some depth players. Because Jake Virtanen, we need right wingers. So what is this? Mikael Granlund, playmaker, top 6 lines, expensive as fuck though. Can play on the right hand though. Columbus does need. So if we could get Granlund retained, like half retained, say Columbus. We give you Jake Virtanen. You guys have tons of salary cap right now. Have retained. We'll just see if that goes through. No, okay. Yeah, that's what I kind of thought. So we'll give you guys a couple picks, like 2/3. We got a lot of picks. We got a lot of picks that we could trade away. So 2/3, swap for 2/4. I was kind of guessing I was just adding that in there. So still no acceptance here. I do want to keep a lot of the picks that we have this year. We do have a decent amount of picks. So 3rd round pick we'll add to the deal. Still not accepted, so we'll lower it to about 40. No, actually, Granlund would be a stupid idea. Let's go after somebody else. Somebody that'll be way cheaper than Mikael Granlund, because Mikael Granlund is just way too damn expensive, and that'd just be really dumb for us to do. So let's move on. Dallas. You guys got a lot of cap, but you guys don't really got a lot of players on your team. It looks like you're kind of rebuilding right now. You're sellers. Edmonton Oilers. Who do you got for some guys that we could pick up? So we already picked up a sniper. Really don't need Puljujärvi. He would be a steal because we could probably make him good, but Yamamoto, we really don't need him. We really don't need anyone from the Edmonton Oilers. It's surprising. I never really actually make any deals with the Edmonton Oilers ever in any of my franchise modes. It's just Edmonton always doesn't have players that fit my team, I guess. But anyways, we'll continue on here. I do want to find that one single trade, as we are getting pretty long in this video here, guys. But I do want to find that trade that will change this team around and find that perfect fit for the team to help us continue to grow. Ondrej Palat, playmaker. So Burakovsky could play on both sides, and that's not too bad. If we could get them to retain this contract a bit, because it is an expensive deal. If we get that retained, we'll let you guys still have enough money to afford Jake Virtanen, but that's still a lot of money for Ondrej Palat, honestly, and it's going to be a pain in the ass to pick him up, even if we do get them to retain a ton of money. God damn, it is really hard to find that just one single playmaker fit for this team here in Seattle for that third line, because that's what we need. We got that Burakovsky. I wouldn't mind a playmaker for that depth. To help us out a little bit, because we're going to have a very physical fourth line. That's what I'm kind of thinking for the team, is have a very physical fourth line. Andreas Anthony, but he's going to be shit defensively, isn't he? He's not that bad defensively. He fits on all the PK lines, left wing, right wing. 23 points last year. He had 62 points before. Not that bad defensively. Honestly, could be a guy. $3 million for just a year. I wouldn't mind taking that. I would not mind taking that. If you guys could retain a little bit of his money, just for like $1 million, so we could save a little bit of money on this guy, and then we could pick up a ton of picks, so like a second, and then next year third and fourth and a fifth for Jake Virtanen. Will that go through? No, it does not. That's what I was kind of thinking. That go through. Take all the picks off. Just a second. No. We'll go with like a third, 2/3, and a fourth. Will that go through? No, take off 1/3 and a fourth. Take off that other third and boom, there we go. Actually, hang on. We could get a little bit more out of this, I think. 2/4 and a fifth. Will that go through? No. Take out the fourth. There we go. Okay. So, Andreas Anthony, welcome to the New York Islanders. I know we had to pay a little bit of an overpayment to get Jake Virtanen off the team, but we did have to retain a little bit so we could save a little bit on Andreas Anthony. And like I said, this is what we need to do to sacrifice. We need to make sacrifices to make this team better. And that's honestly what we need to do. We need to make sacrifices to make this team better. And it's only going to get up from here. So I think I'm going to end the video here, guys. My voice is dying. We've been cranking on this offseason for a while. It looks like a brand new team. We picked up Ryan O'Reilly. We also got Burakovsky, Anthony, Fogel, Sudquist. The whole depth has changed for the team. Defensively, we got Gunderson, we got Alexiak coming up to the team. We might even have Ragnarsson, and then we also picked up Tristan Jarry as well for the Seattle Kraken. We have legit turned this team around this year, and made it a new team, honestly. We have really kind of changed things up here in Seattle, and it was a thing that I think we needed to do. I think we really needed to bolster this team up in a different way that we've never really done before, and I think this team is going to have a fantastic season, honestly. I am really, really excited. I want Oscar Sudquist on that fourth line. That gives it a -2 because they're all power forwards. Yeah, so if we take off Ernie and throw on Dryden Hunt, would that fix it? No, okay. So that fourth line will be like that. But honestly, not that bad. I am not complaining about the lineup that we have right now. It's honestly a really good looking line, and it excites me. It excites me for this upcoming season. Defensively, we look really good and really exciting defensively with Oleksiak down there, and same with our goaltending. But I'm going to end the video here, guys. Thank you very much for watching this very long episode, as in the next episode, we're going to continue on the simulation here with the Seattle Kraken going through the 2023-24 season. But I'm going to end the video here, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Adios, amigos.